Hello and good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here with you all this afternoon, this evening. It's right 6 o'clock here, and I'm expecting few people to join. And what today I'm going to talk about is about hypnosis, the basic modality of the work that I do with my clients. What is hypnosis, what it isn't, and what are the myths about hypnosis. So that is what I'm going to talk about it today. So if you have any questions, if you have any queries regarding what is hypnosis and what it isn't, and you have any doubt about it, please feel free to mention it here, and I'll be happy to answer. So in order to understand what hypnosis is, it is important for us to understand what is mind, what is our mind, and how it works, and how it developed and how it works in that order. So mind is like different processes that is happening in our body. Now, from the time we started hearing in the mother's womb, that's the development of the subconscious mind. The first time the subconscious mind develops is the time when our hearing starts in our subconscious mind, while we are in the mother's womb. So that's the first time the subconscious mind has, you can say, that has developed. Now we call it subconscious mind because we are not aware of what's happening there. Most of the processes that are happening there in the subconscious, we are not aware of that. So that's the reason we call it subconscious mind. Under that, people use it interchangeably. People only use it at unconscious mind, but for my own purpose, I like to define it as unconscious, subconscious, and the conscious mind. So the unconscious mind is the one that manages all our body functions, reflexes, and everything that happens automatically. It's more like an autopilot of the mind, autopilot of our body. So these are all processes that are completely beyond I would say that we are not in control of these processes. It happens automatically, even without thinking. That's the reason it's called unconscious. We can control our breathing in some manner, but we need extra effort. We need conscious effort to do that. So that's the unconscious mind. The subconscious mind, as I said, develops as soon as the hearing starts in the mother's womb, about 18 to 20 weeks in utero. And with that, we begin to experience the world outside, the world inside. And based on all that experiences and gradual development of our mind, of all the different five senses, we begin to experience our world. So these five senses that we develop over a period of time, beginning with hearing, is hearing. The first one is hearing. The second one is touch, vision, taste, and smell. So we develop all these over a period of time, but all in all, that gives us our interaction with the world outside, our experiences that we have outside the world, and that forms our emotions, our emotional makeup, our personality, our traits, our belief system, our habits, and what we feel about ourselves. These all becomes part of our personality, which remains in the subconscious mind. That's where most of our senses are. The senses are controlled by that. The major part of the function of the subconscious mind is to make sure that we are safe and secure in our environment. Its job is to just keep you safe in many different ways. So whether that danger is imagined or real, the mind doesn't make a difference between the two. So whether that danger is social, in terms of social anxiety, or there is real a danger like a car coming towards you, or a tiger chasing you, which is going to be little rare in the cities and the towns that we live in, but something of that sort. So its job is to do that. So whenever there is a lag between what we imagine as a what do you call it, as a fear, or real or imagined, whether the danger is real or imagined, it creates that response, the fear responses in us. So that is what the subconscious mind is. And then there is conscious processes. The conscious processes are all our analytical and reasoning skills that we have as an individual, that we develop or critical faculty that we develop post year 7. So under 6 or 7 years of age, we are in our subconscious. Our subconscious is the one that the child operates generally from. So these are different processes that makes up our mind, and we can keep changing our mind. We can say that I've changed my mind, or now I think differently about it, or I'm in double mind, So this denotes to all different processes that happens to us. So now coming to what is hypnosis, is that hypnosis is the process and a method of accessing the subconscious mind of a person, so that the person can choose, so that it can be given the suggestion for self-improvement. So this is that is in itself is a kind of a definition of hypnosis, that it bypasses our resistance, the resistance of the conscious mind, and it helps us make changes in our subconscious mind. So that's actually the hypnosis. Now there are lots of myths about it, that if I do hypnosis, what will happen to me, or is it really dangerous? So I have picked up few myths about hypnosis, and I'm going to talk about it. And if you have any questions regarding hypnosis, please write it down here. I'll be able to answer it. I see some people have joined. Unfortunately, I can't see their name right now, but thank you very much for joining us right now. The first myth that people have is that the hypnotist that I'm working with will be able to control me. Now, no one can control you or your mind unless you let them do it. Yeah. While you are in hypnosis, your hypnotherapist gives you suggestions for change, as you have agreed in your pre-hypnotic interview. And if you even don't like the suggestions that your hypnotist is giving you, your mind has the ability to reject them, and that happens all the time in hypnosis. So there is no way that anybody can control your mind while you are in hypnosis unless you let them do it. The second one is that, what if I will start behaving like a duck, or cluck like a chicken, or bark like a dog, and feel embarrassed about myself? Now this has happened because of the Hollywood, that it has created this whole thing about the entertainment aspect of hypnosis. So you may have seen it in stage hypnosis, or in Hollywood, in the movies and in the series where people do that. Now let me tell you that, first of all, there is a whole drama that is created in either in Hollywood or in stage hypnosis, and these are all volunteers who have decided to go on the stage and do whatever it takes to be there. So as I said, nobody can control you unless you let them. So in that situation, people have chosen to be that way, and if you have chosen not to cluck like a chicken or bark like a dog, no one can let you do that. It is as simple as that. You are in total control of what really happens to you. So that's myth number 2. The third myth is that hypnosis is like some supernatural. It is something like a magic or something like that. Now, hypnosis has been studied for almost 150 years, and by very famous psychologists like Dr. Freud, Dr. Carl Jung, Dr. Milton Erickson, Dr. John Kappas, Dr. James S. Dale, Dave Ellman, and recently Omni International is conducting a research on how hypnosis is having its effect on the brain of a person. So they are doing this research under the CT scan and under MRI after putting a person in hypnosis, and then they are making a scanning there. So this is a very scientifically studied as a subject, and all these things are just simply a myth that it's supernatural and things like that, because we have the natural capability to be in hypnosis, and that's what we use it in each what do you call it, in each session. Yeah, the other one is that if I become hypnotized, I may not be able to snap out of it. Yeah, so on the contrary to all of that, hypnosis is very safe. In fact, it is even a hyper awareness state where we are accessing your subconscious mind, where all your belief, all your senses, the part that protects you of the subconscious, they are all over there, and you are in more of a hyperactive, hyper alertness state where you are able to hear better, you are able to experience and relive the experiences of your life in a much better way. So it's not a state where you have kind of, you're not totally aware of what's really happening to you. You are more aware of actually what is happening around you. So that's another myth that is not really true. People say that I've never been hypnotized before, so how can I be hypnotized now? So again, this is a myth. Now, this is the biggest myth. We are always we are in and out of hypnosis on a daily basis, and let me tell you what really happens. While we go to deep sleep in the night, or right before we get up in the morning, we are in hypnosis. That's a hypnotic state of mind that we are in. We also get into what we call it as an environmental hypnosis. So while we watch a movie or read a very interesting novel, or while we are watching some interesting game on the TV, or while we are driving on a highway and we get lost in a thought process, we call it as highway hypnosis. So hypnosis is a very, very natural process that we experience on a daily basis. So if somebody says that I've never been hypnotized, think over it again. Have you ever been hypnotized? We are always hypnotized of different belief system that we are brought up into. The other thing that happens with us is also that children under 7, they are considered to be in hypnosis because they don't have a critical factor. They absorb every experiences from their environment. So when next time you want to think about yourself as that I've never been hypnotized, think of how many times you have actually been hypnotized. So what happens is that in a clinical situation, in a self-improvement session with your hypnotherapist, that it's more like a guided process. Like anywhere that you learn driving, you have a driving instructor sitting next to you and telling you to do things. And if you just follow those suggestions, you actually learn to drive. It's the same way in a self-improvement sessions where you just follow suggestions of your hypnotherapist as agreed in your pre-induction interview. So that is the kind of difference there. Now Tazib is asking me that is hypnosis and hypnotherapy the same? Okay, now hypnosis is a process of accessing your subconscious mind, as I explained before, that to access our subconscious mind, we need to go through certain process, and that's hypnosis. That is inducing hypnosis in a person, which will bypass the critical factor or the resistance of the conscious mind. So that is called hypnosis. While hypnotherapy is actually talking to various parts of our subconscious mind, or various processes within the subconscious mind, which in our professional term we call it as hypnoanalysis, where we talk to the various parts of our subconscious mind and we kind of reprogram the belief that are limiting belief, or the fear responses, or the programs or the habits that are not working anymore. So that's the kind of the difference between hypnosis and hypnotherapy. But it's the hypnosis that leads to hypnotherapy while we make the changes. So thank you for your question, Tazib. And Kanti is saying that hi, I was watching a video on YouTube and that person gave hypnosis definition as hypnosis a conscious mind sleep. They are famous. Okay, yeah. So hypnosis, in another word, the definition, the kind of the proper definition that I teach in my class is that hypnosis is a method of bypassing the critical factor or critical faculty of the conscious mind and establishing selective thinking. So in other words, accessing the subconscious mind, removing the resistance of the conscious mind, and doing something that you really want to do. Because as I said earlier, the way our mind is made up, all our experience becomes like a program, and there are certain programs at a certain point of time don't work. So how do we make changes in those programs is through hypnosis, because hypnosis allows us to go to the subconscious mind and make changes, because 95% of who we are and how we react and behave in our personality is all operating on the subconscious programming. And we wonder why we are like the way we like. Sometimes we behave in a certain way, or sometimes somebody else behaves in a certain way, and we wonder what really happened, what really went wrong, because there is some program that came up and did something that really was not supposed to happen. So some programs like the belief about yourself. Do you feel good enough about yourself? Do you have a habit that is not working for you, or do you have a habit that is really working good for you? Or do you have any fears? So these are all different programs that happens. There are like thousands of programs running for us, and they work for us in many ways, but there are some part of our life that is not working for us, and that's where we need to access the source where these information is there, so that we can make changes in our life. Now the next myth that people have is that hypnosis is a miracle cure. While hypnosis is a relatively very quick way to self-improvement, no hypnotist has a magic wand where they can help you improve overnight. Yeah, it takes its time. It takes methods in which it can change. It's relatively, but every individual works at their own pace, and may have a kind of multitude of issues that needs to overcome before the real cause can be worked with. For example, quit smoking program. So people think that it's an addiction, or it's a habit that is not going away, but behind that habit there is always something that is creating that as a diversion. Because in our world, smoking or alcohol, or these are all, when people overdo it, they are nothing but a simple way of diverting their mind from what they are feeling. So we worked with many different layers of a problem. So yes, you get quick results from hypnosis sessions. Within couple of sessions or 3 or 4 sessions, you are able to kind of get over with your issue. But if somebody says that they can give you overnight results, be wary of that, on what basis they are claiming that. So it will give you quick results. However, it may not give you overnight results. Yes, so many people feel that when hypnotize, I will lose sense of my surroundings and will have no memory of the session. Now, that's the difference between hypnosis. People say hypnosis is a sleep. Now, it's not the same sleep as we have sleep while we have a deep sleep at night, the unconscious sleep. This is a kind of a zoned out, totally focused state of mind, trance-like mind, where our mind is totally zoned out from the rest of the world. It doesn't bother what's kind of really happening outside, though a person can hear all the sounds around, the sound of the voice of the hypnotherapist, and they can even talk. I mean, they can scratch, they can talk. So all of that is, and most of the sessions are interactive. Most of the hypnotherapy sessions are interactive. It's not that somebody's just closing eyes and going somewhere and coming back with all things completely reshaped or reformed or pre-programmed. The person is actively involved in hypnotherapy. As I said, it's an interactive process. So it is not that sleep, first of all. In fact, most of the people also report very heightened sense of awareness, where they kind of relive their experiences of their life that has led to the problem that they want to work with. And sometimes they really wonder that I never knew that I had experienced this, and I never knew that this is how it's going to kind of affect me, or this event has affected, because the way our mind connects different things is totally different from our conscious understanding. So yes, it is a very relaxed state. However, it gives you a very hyper sense of awareness and alertness. One more myth that I will cover is that I can't be hypnotized because I'm too strong, or I'm too strong-minded, or I'm highly disciplined, and things like that. Now, these are all myths that people choose to believe. Now, the first and foremost thing of hypnosis is that nobody can hypnotize you if you don't want to be hypnotized. So unless you're ready to be hypnotized, nobody can hypnotize you. That's the first thing. Second thing is, even if you are too strong-minded or too disciplined or too critical thinking, if you want to be hypnotized, you can be hypnotized, because there are various different methods, from instant induction or rapid inductions that can help you hypnotize very quickly. Between few seconds to 4 minutes, you can be easily hypnotized, but it will only happen with your consent and when you are ready for it. So irrespective of how strong-minded you are, how critical thinker you are, or how disciplined you are, and nobody can really hypnotize you unless you are ready to hypnotize. But if you are ready, even though you have these characteristics, you can also be easily hypnotized for your self-improvement. So these are some of the myths that people have. There are certain other things that people talk about or ask me questions when they kind of book for appointment and when they come to see for the session, is that what if I don't come back? And my question would be, where are you going? Where are you going that you can't come back? Rather, you are going within yourself, within your own subconscious processes, where there is something that you need to answer, and you need to figure out and analyze and understand and reframe or reperceive it so that you can have that self-improvement in your life. So you're just going within yourself and you can easily come out of it, just like you go to sleep and you come out of it, because you have decided to go to sleep and you come out of it. It's the same way you can go into hypnosis and you come out of it, because all hypnosis are self-hypnosis. As I said earlier, if you don't want to be hypnotized, nobody can hypnotize you. Just like as I said earlier, when you're driving, and if you don't follow the suggestions of your instructor who is giving you the instructions, you may not learn driving. It's the same way as being in hypnosis. So if you still have any further questions about hypnosis and about hypnotherapy or the myths about it, just send me here so that I can answer. Okay, there is Salima Bimani who is asking a question: does hypnosis affect the brain? Now, as I said earlier, there are research going on how it affects. So the earlier results suggest that all hypnosis have some impact on the way the brain begins to function. But the research is still in making, and I will not be able to share the results of it. But for example, if you are watching movie, you begin to feel the emotions of what's happening in the movie, and you may start feeling something, start getting angry or upset about what's happening there, or you may want to cry. So it has effect on you as a person, as in your mind. However, how much it has impact on the brain itself, I'll be able to kind of share the results as soon as they're out. Moreover, there are few things like that the other way to look at it is that most of our experiences that we have, we think in different kind of modalities, and these are all neurological construct for us. Whatever we think, feel, and our personality traits and the parts that we have, that the part wants this one, a part wants that one, and they all give us certain information. And these are all not just the psychological construct, but they are neurological construct as well, and they have an impact on the way our body functions. So the fear response is a brain and mind functioning together. So when we make changes in the fear response, it has impact on the brain itself, because now the brain is creating new way of responding to a certain stimulus in the environment. So yes, it has effect on the brain, but how and how much is something that is still under the science project that Omni International is carrying out. Any other question that you have before I wrap it up? Because hypnosis and hypnotherapy it's a amazing, very effective method of self-improvement, and I use it extensively in my work. When I work with my own client, I use NLP, I use hypnosis, hypnotherapy, and within hypnotherapy there are many different levels, levels of trance, and many different methods that I use. I use parts therapy, I use Simpson protocol, I use many other methods that help me to work with client, as various clients respond to hypnosis in a different way. So it is a very scientific way of self-improvement and self-change. So I love it. I love to do hypnosis on myself. I love it to do it with my clients, so that they get what they really want. And we all have this tremendous potential to learn, change, shift, and transform our life. And we have the capability in our own self, like hypnosis. As I said, all hypnosis are self-hypnosis. So that capability is something that we use it so that people can get a life that they want. And that's the kind of the motto that even I have. Let people live the life they want to the fullest potential. And with that, I wrap it up this session. If you have any further questions about hypnosis, hypnotherapy, please send it to me at info@potentialunlimitedtraining.com, and I'll be able to answer it. You can also check it out on my website www.potentialunlimitedtraining.com, and I'll be able to happily reply your questions regarding it. It's an amazing method, so go for it. And I wish you a very good evening, and bye bye.